Do you want to separate your Christian business from the competition and give customers confidence in your ethics and integrity? Online and print, stand out with The Shepherd's Guide.
What you do and how to find you. Just advertise in The Shepherd's Guide and let The Shepherd guide you.
Celebrating 40 years.
Today, I'm excited to come to you. I'm Tim Lambert, the owner of The Shepherd's Guide. The Shepherd's Guide, we are experiencing one of the greatest landmarks, I reckon you could say, as we're coming up on our 40th anniversary edition this year. I know back in 1985 when Martin Levinson started The Shepherd's Guide here in Hampton Roads, he told me that he quit counting the number of people that told him that will never work, that will never last. And fortunately, 40 years later, here we are. And Martin has gone on to be with the Lord, and I trust that he's part of that great cloud of witnesses that's rejoicing and cheering us on. And here we, at the Shepherd's Guide, just love to connect with our community in two facets. One, we partner with our business owners and ministry leaders and that are willing to come in and say, you know what, we are a Christian company. We operate by Christian morals and standards and ethics, and you can trust us because we have an accountability that sees us 24/7, God Almighty. And then we can connect with the community that is looking for trusted businesses to call on. And that's what brings us here today as we're celebrating our 40th anniversary. And in going in that, we have A-1 American still part of what God is doing in and through the Shepherd's Guide. So I want you to welcome with me. And if you're home, you can just clap right now. Megan, Meg, it's good to have you with us. And I'd like for you to just introduce yourself to everyone.
My name is Meg Savell. I've been with A-1 American 8 years. As I was telling Tim earlier, I've worn every hat. Now I'm mainly focused on marketing, a little bit of the customer satisfaction part of the business as well, which, as we all know, is very important. And I'm super happy to be here today to celebrate 40 years of the Shepherd's Guide.
Yes. And how long has A-1 American been in business?
Tim, we've been in business since March of 1987, so we are also coming up on our 40 years.
Yes,
Isn't that great?
How unique. That is amazing,
Yes.
So any big plans?
Yes, well, this year, as we all know, America turns 250 years old, and so we already launched a big promotion that Jason is working with on us as well. He works for the Shepherd's Guide. He's a great asset for us. And so we've got some promotions going and some big plans for the 250th next year, maybe a podcast.
Yes, that would be exciting. Yes. I love the logo. If you guys could just focus in on A-1 American's logo. You got the American flag, and then you got God Bless America. And I just love that. I love America. My wife is from Romania, and she came to America, she and her whole family, coming out of the communism and the socialism that was destroying families and destroying their economy. And so I've been there to see some of the you would might say, trying to rebuild a country after such a devastation of such. And when I came back, after we visited and I came back, I just kissed the ground. I said, God, you have blessed us here in America so much, and I don't want to take that for granted. And to see you guys proudly promoting that you're an American company, that you're here to serve, and first and foremost God, but then the people of God, that is so important. So 8 years you've been with A-1 American. What brought you into this aspect of the market?
That's a long story, maybe one that you might be familiar with, but I was begged and pleaded to come. I came from the corporate world, actually, and with that training in my background, I just went and started really as an office manager and then moved forward learning even the basic things of bookkeeping, hiring, sometimes, as we know, firing.
Yes, that's part of
onboarding, it. Offboarding. But I do really love marketing, and I love offering great promotions for customers, and I'm very passionate about customer satisfaction, and that goes back to some training that I had in the corporate world.
Well,
So.
I know the leadership there at A1 American appreciates that because the customer satisfaction, when you fall short there, and unfortunately I've seen in the last 2 decades that has seemed to be less and less important to corporations and businesses, but I feel like it's become more and more important to the consumer and the customer. And because there's a lack of it. And when there is good customer satisfaction, let me tell you what, folks will talk about it. That's some of the best marketing you can get.
That's right.
And what you guys deal with, tell us what products and services you guys offer.
Okay. So we started out as just a plumbing company, and we can go into that a little bit later in the segment, but we offer everything residential and commercial that you can think of that might go wrong with your fixtures, anything plumbing, heating, air conditioning, hot water. We also do chillers for churches, so that's a lot of the bigger churches maybe that you might see like Zion comes to name, where they're a huge brick building and they operate only with chillers. So geothermals for some of our customers that might be in Williamsburg, and anything that has to do with septic and wells, we can also do that, down to your toilets, your faucets, maybe your beach house in Sandbridge. And we work in all the 7 cities, just like the Shepherd's Guide is distributed, and pretty much you name it.
That is wonderful because many companies I talk to, they limit themselves to just one of the cities or two because of traffic and different things. But you have a fleet, so you can cover it all. That's awesome. So even Williamsburg, Williamsburg is a very special place to us. It's kind of our little getaway. And we have some investment property there as well. So it's good to know that you guys, because we've called some people here and they don't, oh, no, we don't drive to Williamsburg, but you guys cover that as well. Well, what you offer sounds like it covers some of the very essential basics of what you have to have in a building. I've been in other countries where they don't, and I thank God that we do. We have some missions work that we do in Kenya, and when we go in and there's no running water and no air conditioning or heating, you just come home and appreciate you guys so much more. Trying to survive with a neck fan. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those and it just blowing up trying to survive. Yes. And fortunately, we've been able to partner and help them drill wells, get water, and build buildings and get running water. And still, they've not yet gone into the heating and air. Maybe I'll take you on a missions trip and you can help me sell them on that.
Yeah.
You can go international.
That sounds great. I was thinking about that on the way over here, how important running water is.
Yes.
And just, even the customers around here, it's a huge emergency to not have any water,
Yes.
number one.
Yes.
But when you have no hot water,
Yes.
you can't sanitize anything, you can't get clean, and so it would be a great opportunity for A1 American to
Would truly change their lives forever.
Yes.
What I have seen in the industry you're in, Meg, is that the cost point is and has increased over the years dramatically. So we're not talking about, especially with HVAC systems, we're not talking about a small investment when someone has breakage or need repair. So what you do and doing it with integrity to where I can trust you when I call, that means more now than ever, because it may be a $10,000, $15,000 residential cost, and you don't want to be taken because most consumers don't know what they don't know. Exactly. So they're depending on your expertise. And that's one thing the Shepherd's Guide, our passion and heart has always been, is these are men and women in companies that have signed a statement of faith that Jesus Christ is the Lord of their life, and they've committed to operate their business according to biblical standards, and they're willing to be held accountable for that. And so with that, you're calling on a company that has accountability, They're not going to come rip you off. They're not going to come oversell you. They're not going to come and do anything but what's best for you, because they feel like they're serving the Lord as they're serving you, and they're answerable to Him as they're answerable to you. And that's, I think, what's made the Shepherd's Guide so powerful over the last 40 years. And what amazes me, and this may amaze you as well, in the probably the 15 going on 20 years that I've been the owner of the Shepherd's Guide here in Hampton Roads, we've had 5 complaints.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands and millions of people on the website finding we've had 5 complaints.
That's
now
it?
that, to me,
That's amazing.
I still pinch myself. Not that I'm asking for more, but, and in those, we do mediate. That's one thing we do. We get in and mediate. And 3 of the 5 was miscommunication. And once they got to talking, and misunderstanding, fixed it. One of them, it was a situation that, it was just a complicated situation. And then there was one that, and I know you found these, it was a customer that if you gave them a brand new Lexus along with they still were not going to be satisfied.
Sure.
And when you see that, you kind of have to let them know, look, they have met their obligation and exceeded it. You're just going to have to live with it. And then they try to put bad reviews on it, and then we fight those and take them down because, we want to be fair, and it's not always the contractor's fault,
Sure.
Sometimes it's a customer you just can't satisfy. But fortunately, out of the millions and millions of customers that use the Shepherd's Guide, you guys are amazing. And, if there's a true issue, we want to hear about it. But our contractors and businesses have been amazing. You guys have been amazing, and we appreciate the partnership over the years. And we look forward to making this 40th edition and your 40th year anniversary the best ever.
Yeah, this is exciting to share in that celebration with you guys.
Yes. Well, tell us a little about the culture of A1 America. If we're going to call you, and people today are more relational than ever. We get to see everybody's best foot forward on Facebook and everything. But it's like we know people's families and their vacations and companies and their likes and dislikes more now than ever. So when I talk to people, they're like, well, what kind of company is that? Is it family friendly? Is it, just very corporate? Or, so what's your culture?
Yeah. So I love it because, like I said, Tim, I came from the corporate world myself, but it is the biggest small family business that still today does plumbing and HVAC, commercial and residential, in Hampton Roads.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
proud to
That's
say that.
Awesome.
We will never submit to the private equity firms that would like to buy us out because, believe me, Tim, they come knocking.
They come knocking, yes.
Every day.
Yes.
So the culture is very diverse, and we've been that way forever. So we have people from all backgrounds, all ages too. So I think our youngest technician is only 19, and our oldest technician just had his 69th birthday.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. And so it's great to have a wide range of ages. And then also, when you call, you can hear laughter. You might hear Toothless. He's our dog. You might hear him barking in the background.
Awesome. Now we know it's truly family friendly. So his name is Toothless.
Yes.
So do we know how he got that name?
Yes. So his owner, which is the owner's sister, Aaron's sister, Lisa, and she'll answer the phone on Mondays or Fridays is when she's in.
Right.
And she, her and her daughter just came up with the name from the movie, How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon.
But her daughter was really young at the time. Now
right.
her daughter's surfing and driving cars, as happens.
That is life. That's how it works. Yes.
Yes.
So what about you? In your coming to the company now for 8 years, what would you, from your perspective of A1 American, would say that sets you guys apart? I know you said one of the largest family type businesses. Also, you said you're taking care of plumbing, any hot water chillers. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yes.
And not everybody can work on a chiller.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you got technicians that have trained in that.
Yes.
And you got suppliers that can get the parts and pieces for that.
Yeah, and that's important
It's
too when you
very
talk about
important.
suppliers. So we have great relationships. There's only a few suppliers left, not
Yes.
surprisingly.
Yes.
And we have great relationships with our vendors and suppliers. And talking about geothermals, that's a specialty. Boilers, we
Yes.
do those on the Navy bases. So that
Oh.
can be, Dam Neck, Oceana, Coast Guard, where we have to physically be on a boat to fix a boiler,
Oh,
or we
that's
have to be on the
interesting.
base.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
So
a
then
lot
you
of
guys
fun.
have to get clearance as well.
Yep, we
Yes.
have to be cleared. Along those lines, we work at the medical facilities. So they constantly, believe it or not, in doctors and dentist office, they have to change out their water heaters often. They just go through water heaters like
Really? I didn't
nobody's
realize
business.
that. Yeah. Well, that's good for business.
yeah, that's good. But you have to be able to work after hours as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Because you can't be in there when the patients are there.
Yes. Y'all do any schools or
We do. Right now, we have partnerships with Christian schools mainly. A lot of the public schools have their own maintenance team, but we are a backup.
yes.
And that's the same for like the Starbucks, any of the food
Oh,
chains.
good,
They
yes.
have their people, but myself and many others are always quick to give our business card. Hey, as a what in case? Because you're
Exactly.
probably honestly going to call 3 companies in the
Right,
summer
right.
if you need air conditioning yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. Well, do you have any programs for your customers that, like a service maintenance program that they can be a part of, so they don't? It's like a no worry or worry free system. And then when the extreme heat comes or the extreme cold comes, which is usually when things happen, their unit has already been checked and serviced and it's ready for the season.
Yeah, and we have it for both, Tim, because some people don't want that maintenance plan. That could be somebody who maybe only lives in their house 6 months out of the year.
Correct.
Right, because you're a Florida baby and you're there 6 months. But for the people who do want maintenance, we have it on the HVAC side, and that's been around since the 80s, but we also have it on the plumbing side, which many people don't know, because every couple of years you need to get your water heater flushed, whether it's tankless or tank, and that's on the business side and
the
commercial-
residential,
residential
yes,
side, yes.
awesome. So then, because it seems like hot water heaters usually go out when you need them the most, and
yeah.
and so do you guys do emergency calls or after hour calls?
Yes. So one that comes to mind as I'm sitting here doing this podcast with you was out at Liberty Live Church.
Yes.
In Hampton. We had to go because their sinks in both the men's and women's room were backing up. So, and it was a Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So you got to be there on a Sunday, and it
Yes.
was in between services.
Yes.
And they
Wow.
need to keep God's word going.
Yes, got to keep it going. Yes. Wow. So you guys were able to get there and help them out.
Yeah, and it was great because we met a lot of great people along the way,
Yes.
and it's fun. That's the real kind of service for God's kingdom that you were talking about.
Exactly. Well, tell everyone how they can contact you. So if they want more information, your website, your phone number.
Sure. So you can reach us at a-1american.com. Right from that link, you can pull up coupons, you can book an appointment. Everything is right there for you. You can call the Shepherd's Guide or go on the Shepherd's Guide website, and you can also find us there.
Yes.
And you can give us a call, 757-425-2400 on the south side or 757-467-1000 on the peninsula.
Wow. Now, do you have an office on the peninsula, or does that reach the people that would take care of dispatch for the peninsula?
So that's really interesting, too. In the early 2000s, we took away the actual brick and mortar,
Yes.
but everything from the peninsula is now routed through Virginia Beach, which is right down the road from the Shepherd's Guide.
Which keeps your costs down, so you can
Yes.
share that savings with your customers, because the more expense you have, the more expensive things are.
Yeah, we'd like to put that savings back.
Exactly. Well, you said coupons, and I know some people, your ears perked up.
Yes.
My wife, she loves the thought of a coupon. And I said, we really don't need to use coupons. She said, no, but they're so much fun. And so I know that some of you out there, you love coupons. Go on the website. Give them the website again.
Yes, A-1American.com. But actually, Jason at the Shepherd's Guide was instrumental in helping me
Yes.
come up with the best coupons in the city.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah, Jason's been with me, wow, almost since my beginning, several decades now. And Jason, if you ever call the Shepherd's Guide, he'll be the one answering the phone and walking you through. He's my office manager and does a tremendous job and communicating with our customers, our advertisers, as well as our team, whether it's graphics and design or if it's digital work that needs to be done. So when you hear, hello, the Shepherd's Guide, Jason speaking, you'll know who Meg is talking about.
Yes.
And sitting across the table from me, you can't see him on the camera, but is my youngest son, Caleb. And he's been with us since he was 10, and he's going on 20 now, so about 10 years. And so he's over here being our podcast director today and helping Meg and me stay on track. And what a blessing that is. But you can always go, as Meg said, with theshepherdsguide.com. Now, one thing about it, and I didn't choose the name. I love the name, but I didn't choose it. But it's one word that some folks have a tough time spelling. Yeah. We get the spelling of shepherd in so many ways it's become comical. But shepherdsguide.com is shepherdsguide.com. You can go on there and look for any service that you want. Put your zip code in, and you will find those that come up around you. And this is all over the nation. I don't know if you knew it or not, but some years back, with the Shepherd's Guide, how it came about here is Martin Levinson saw what was happening in Baltimore. It started in Baltimore. Pastor was sitting around his conference table having a weekly meeting with his church staff. And he says, I just got this vision, and I'm just going to share it with you guys. It doesn't deal with our church per se, but it could help our church and a Christian business directory. And Doug Scheit was sitting there, youth pastor, and he was part-time at the time. And he's like, well, Pastor Freeman, can I run with that? Because Pastor Freeman said, I don't have time. So Doug Scheit took it and ran with it, and the secretary helped him. And started the first Shepherd's Guide in Baltimore, Maryland in 1980. And it did so well, it not only benefited the church, it benefited the community and the whole city of Baltimore, and it grew and expanded. Then someone in Maryland wanted it over in some other cities, Upper Marlboro and different areas. So he franchised it. Wow. And then Martin Levinson was an attorney here, and he'd moved here. His wife wanted to be on the 700 Club, prayer counselors. So she was counselor. He had a law practice here. And I don't know how they saw the franchise, but he said God told him, shut the practice down, and I want you to start a Shepherd's Guide franchise in Hampton Roads in 85. Oh. So he did. And folks are saying, you're giving up your law practice for this. But the work of God's important. It's very, very important. And that's what he would tell them. He says, if I'm obeying the Lord, whatever I'm doing, I got to listen. And so he started it, and when I moved here in 1992 from the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina areas where I came from, and to plant a church, this church that we're in now, to plant the church and Christian Embassy. And I'm saying, how am I going to let Hampton Roads know about the church? And I went in a bookstore, as most preachers like to go in Christian bookstores, and there were the Shepherd's Guide, and it said free. Now, you like a free book, so I grabbed it, and it was a directory. And when I opened it up, I just felt this is how Hampton Roads will hear. So I put an ad in, and folks started showing up before I ever opened the doors. They were showing up. Wow. When is this church? And I'm like, well, it's in December. We got our launch in December, and the book came out in September. So people were immediately responding. So I was hooked. Yes. Every year I renewed, no questions about it. And in our connection cards, when people would come to the church, they would say, we'd ask, how did you hear about us? Mm-hmm. And the spellings were hilarious, but it would be Shepherd's Guide, Shepherd's Guide. So we're like, wow, this is truly working. So when Martin was ready to retire, he met with me and said, Pastor, I've never seen anyone have such a passion for the Shepherd's Guide like you. I said, well, it's helped us build the kingdom of God here. So that's how I purchased it for him and helped his retirement. And the Lord just kept blessing Hampton Roads. I'm telling you, God is here in Hampton Roads. He's doing great work. Yes. And the book kept growing and growing, and there were like 140 other publishers around the nation. So we'd have a publishers convention every year, and Doug Scheidt was like, Pastor Tim, what are you doing? Hampton Roads is just blowing everybody out the water. And I'm like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. He said, well, come teach everyone. There you go. So I started being one of the guest speakers, a publisher speaking to the publishers and training. And then the day came that Doug was ready to retire. Yeah. And he said, he called me from Baltimore. He said, can I come to your house? And I thought I was in trouble, like going to the principal's office. And he drove all the way down, met me at my house, and told me he was retiring and would like to sell me the whole Shepherd's Guide National. Wow. So, we did that and helped him in his retirement. And so we now partner not only with Hampton Roads, but we partner all around the nation in helping millions and millions of people find trusted companies like A-1 American every day, whether it's attorneys, whether it's mechanics, whether it's, services in the home, contractors to build roofs, any and everything. And so we celebrate the fact that we're able to help God's people not only get a trusted, safe company to work with, but to have a good experience. Yeah. Because, that means a lot, too. People spend more money, first and foremost, on their home. That's one of the largest expenses. But in the home, one of the largest expenses is an HVAC system. Yes. And which is very, very important, especially in Hampton Roads. Yes. we definitely need them in Hampton Roads. And so I have found that, and that's why I just love our HVAC companies that we're able to partner with around the nation, is folks are looking at one of the largest expenses, and they're getting someone they can trust. That's right. And that means everything. I know on your end you understand that and know that, but from the consumer side, let me just reinforce thank you for being there. Yeah. We need companies like you and A-1 American so that when we do have to bite the bullet and spend big bucks for replacement or for new, that we got someone, we know we're getting the right product. We're not just getting an inferior product at an inflated price. Right. We're getting a good product at a good price. Everything's fair. And also on the repair side, especially with your dispatch, the way it works, I love that because nothing breaks on a convenient time from 9 to 5. It's always, we get home from work and the house is 100 degrees. And to know that somebody cares enough that they will send a team out to help us in that hour, oh my goodness, means everything. Yes. Now, my children, all three of my children, my wife, the congregation that I've been pastoring now for 32 years, going on 33 years this year, they all heard my story of why I am smiling so big here with you. I can tell you're one of my favorites, and the reason why. I grew up on a farm in South Carolina, and we were out in the fields from sun up to sundown all summer. And I think I had heat strokes. I think I became very sensitive to heat. I hated heat, so much so as a young child, we would watch whatever program my dad watched, and he would watch a program called Sanford and Son. And
I've heard of it.
Fred Sanford and Lamont, his son, run this junkyard business. And I remember thinking, one day I'm going to learn how to build an air conditioner. If I have to go to, I thought it was a real place. If I have to go to Sanford and Son and buy the parts, I want to be able to build an AC. Because we grew up without it. And I said, I'm not going to live my life without AC. And long story short, I, in my young 20s, worked for an HVAC company so that I could learn it. Great. And Bruce Brown Heating and Air, they were at that time really sponsored by Amana Products and the Florida heat pumps, the geothermal.
Great.
Yeah, so my boss said, if you can learn, I said, I want a truck, I want to run service calls. And he said, well, and he gave me a book and he said, if you can learn the schematics and let me give you some problem areas and you troubleshoot them and show me how I'll buy you a brand new truck. Wow. And within weeks, I had a brand new truck.
Awesome.
And he said, I've never seen anybody learn it the way you did. But my story's why I did, because I wanted to help people. And even though we didn't have to work overtime, it was a opportunity and a choice.
Yeah, great.
When he called, and this is back in the day when there was a phone mounted to the floorboard of the vehicle, and it would ring, and you talk on the phone, and he would say, Tim, we got someone without AC over across the river or wherever, and he said, I know it's 5 o'clock. If you got any, I said, I gotta go. And many a time at midnight, I'm getting people their heat going or their AC going. The problem I didn't like about it is you arrive when it's hot, and when you get the air going, you leave.
I know.
You arrive when it's cold, and when you get the heat going, you leave.
I love that.
So I still was suffering, but I was helping people.
Yeah.
So you guys are heroes to me. And then on the plumbing side, I believe I've read somewhere that the one profession that has saved more lives in the world than any other profession is plumbing.
I believe it. We just talked about, wells in countries like Kenya
Yes. We had to go 192 feet in Homa Bay, Kenya to get this last well up and going to make the water of the quality it needed to be.
I believe it.
And Homa Bay sits right on the coast of Lake Victoria. So you would think, but it doesn't always work that way. And they have been dipping out of Lake Victoria and having to boil that water on open fire to have safe drinking water. 350,000 people. They spend most of their day. Most of the day is just gathering water, sanitizing the water. The environment is filled with smoke because of all the fires of them trying to boil the water. And here we put a well right in the center of it all, and the whole city and the city leadership just went crazy. And we put a big water tower up so that we'd have the supply for it and for the masses coming in.
Yeah.
And but yeah, tell folks. We keep saying geothermal or Florida heat pumps is the brand that we covered. Tell folks what that is. They may not know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. So another word that we use for boilers and geothermals is hydronics. So people are always surprised that we work on those because it can be scary to work on electricity, but it can be more scary to work on electricity and water at the same time, right? So in places like Williamsburg and some areas of Norfolk especially, it's actually under your house, under your crawl space, in some cases even buried in the ground. Many Williamsburg homes, golf courses, they have buried geothermals, and it's essentially like a heat pump, but it has water running to it. So it has hoses. You can actually see they're thick hoses, almost like garden hoses, but a little thicker rubber. And it's so fascinating. I said I wore many hats, but I have been under a house or two.
Good.
So, and I've run ductwork, I've repaired ductwork, I've repaired plumbing.
Awesome.
Similar to you, I wanted to be able to explain to the customer exactly what the technician does. But I think I really do think hydronics are the future, as well as mini splits, which is another thing that They're
really gaining popularity.
And tankless. Yes. Tankless water heaters are really getting traction. So
yeah.
We're excited. If you have an interest in saving space, or if you just don't have anybody to work on your units, let us know.
Some folks I've shared with them about tankless, and it seems like there's a lot of questions about the tankless hot water heaters now. Yeah. Like our house, we have a circulating system for hot water, so you have hot water anywhere at any time. With the tankless, is that still a possibility?
Yes, definitely. And talking about hydronics, they have combination units.
Yes.
So a combination boiler and tankless water heater can actually do your heat.
Right.
They even have stand-up tank water heaters with a heat pump on top, and you see a lot of those in Sandbridge.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
in these bigger beach homes, Lago Mar.
Yes.
Because in Lago Mar, all of their water heaters are in their attic,
Uh-oh.
right over the beautiful newly remodeled kitchen,
That's not.
or where Mama does her laundry.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we built our house, I said, no, the hot water heater's going in the garage. I don't want it over my head. But if you do have one overhead, you want to have it serviced.
Or moved.
Or moved, yes, for sure. The least would be keep it serviced so they can see any rust, any erosion that is taking place. And actually the years, there's a certain time that certain ones have a kind of an expiration that you need to
Yes.
switch them out, even if nothing's wrong with them, right?
Yeah, yep. So the tankless are really nice, and the tanks are moving in this direction, but they'll flash a code.
Good, good, good.
And sometimes it's sent directly to us,
That's
and
even
sometimes,
better.
that's
Yes.
ideal
That's
because
ideal.
it might be Greek to
Exactly.
you essentially.
Yes.
But the code will flash. It'll tell you need to have it flushed. But we try to remind every customer, even if they come in over a Google review or a review from the Shepherd's Guide, we like to respond with, hey, make sure that every couple years you're getting the flush, because the water quality has gone down over the years in the 7 cities. It really has.
That's unfortunate, but so true.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, back with our geothermals, we were a lot of country estates and so forth that we worked with, and we would drill a well and draw the water straight from the well. So you're getting it 60 degrees or 58 to 60 degrees year round. So if you're talking about like the heat pump, the air-to-air heat pump is getting your heat from the air transfer, but and that could be very cold outside in the winter, so it has to have a backup heat to help it out. Well, with the geothermal, bringing it up is 60 degrees year round, so you can imagine your power bill was a lot less. But we would drill one well, draw out, and then we would have another well to drop it back in. But we'd also put valves on there and put it in a sprinkler system. So every time their AC ran during the summer, they're watering their garden, they're watering their lawn, the sprinklers are running, and folks just absolutely loved it.
That was smart.
And but I know in cities and where places people live more dense, you're probably using a loop system, right?
Yeah, so we actually, sometimes people call us for irrigation issues because, if you call to get your irrigation service, you're probably calling in April.
Yes.
Well, they wanted you to call in February,
Right.
because they're
Yes.
already busy.
They're busy, yes.
And we actually gain a lot of employees from the irrigation business too.
Nice,
So that's nice. And that's where some of the younger plumbers especially have come.
Yes.
But we're getting more young people like your son here that want to cross-train
Wonderful.
in hydronics, HVAC,
Wonderful.
and the plumbing
Yes.
and water heaters.
So we've got a future.
I know. It's so exciting because I think using your hands,
Yes.
is such an important way. It helps with memorization of things, even Bible verses.
Exactly.
So I think it's using your hands is building brain power at the same time.
Exactly. Well, in today's world that we live in here in 2026, why do you think it's important for people to support a Christian-owned business?
I think that Christian-owned business, like you talked about in the beginning of the segment, but you can trust the integrity.
Yes.
One thing I would love to mention is that when people even complain about our business, I never work to erase it, because it's important that the customer sees how we handle those complaints too. So that's part of integrity. But also somebody else may have, something that's bothering them about, why does an HVAC unit cost so much for my home or business? You can go back and read how we respond to those reviews. Or you can, talk to us, our office manager, Samantha, she's wonderful, or you can email us, or you can email Jason at the Shepherd's Guide. And, if you have any questions or concerns, there's several people even outside of our network. And that's why the Christian community is so important.
Amen.
It's just like we have our brothers and sisters in the congregation, we have brothers and sisters in the business world.
Yes, amen. I love that. I love that. We're one big family for
Yes.
sure. So, what would you say to another business owner who says, you know what, I'm considering getting into the Shepherd's Guide for this 40th anniversary edition, and we have quite a few categories that we really need someone that would represent that category. What if they were to say that? What would you say to them?
I'd say, just like I said early in the segment, but Jason's knowledge and expertise, who's helped me every step of the way, alongside you, Tim, I think that expertise is second to none. It's made us quick to renew every year.
Yes.
Not just that, but the customers that we meet along the way. Anita will say, hey, I'm Anita. I heard about you. I read about you in the Shepherd's Guide, and I only want you.
Yes.
And she already talked to Pastor Tim,
Yes,
and she
yes.
already talked to Jason before she called us.
Yes.
So it's, to me, it's affordable.
Amen.
So the price that you pay, and we always pay up front for the year.
Yes. We
because
appreciate that so much.
you don't want the headaches of the monthly
Yes,
draw. You
yes.
just don't. You have enough things in your life, believe
Yes.
me, that are coming out, every
Exactly.
month. But now that I know that you're national,
Yes.
which is great, that's why we meet,
Yes.
as Christian business owners. But I can think of several of my friends that would be interested.
Awesome. Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Very encouraging. Well, again, we are here with Meg with A-1 American, and we are excited to continue our partnership with them as they bring services and products for the HVAC world as well as the plumbing world and so many other things that tie into that.
Yes.
And if you need any services or you need a replacement or you're building a house, you can, even with your contractor, you can say, if you're looking at a subcontractor, I want to do business with such and such, because you're knowing you're going to get a trusted product, because there are options in the HVAC world. There are very lower cost, but they're not going to last. They're not going to perform as well. They're not going to have the right SEER numbers. It's going to make your power bills run higher. You need somebody you can trust. You just don't need a unit. You need a unit that's going to be there for you and your family during the cold months and during the hot months, and that you can trust. And if it's got, a good 10, 15 years to it, that you get your 10, 15 years with trouble-free, long as maintenance is done. Well, say something real quick about the importance of maintenance.
Sure.
And because some people don't, they just like, you get it and forget it.
I know, and we didn't get to touch on it, but seniors and family members who've got military husbands or wives deployed.
Yes.
Those are the people that might need help. Like, I can't reach my filters, okay? Because you usually have at least 2 filters,
Yes.
probably 4 to 6 to 8 in a bigger house. We can help you reach those filters and change those. When you pull out that filter, it sometimes does weird things to your heat pump. It can cause it to go into defrost mode. And a lot of people think my unit's broken.
Right.
Right. So even we'll coach you over the phone with that. We can coach you over the phone even on things with your thermostat. So our office staff is trained to do that.
Yes.
And I think the biggest thing, with maintenance is being preventative. Like you said, it's just like you go to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned.
Yes.
Every 6 months, at least every 6 months, have your unit checked. And that's both your HVAC unit, home or business, and your water heater, home or business.
Especially if your hot water heater is in the attic. Please,
Yes.
because
Oh my
they can
goodness.
make I know it has a little pan under it, but that's not your foolproof, is it?
A ticking time bomb, we call that.
Exactly. So then maintenance every 6 months would
Yes.
be ideal. And I would encourage you to get on their maintenance program so
Yes.
that it's already scheduled, pre-scheduled. The team knows that in 6 months, we just left your house, but in 6 months on this day, we'll be coming back. And then you can forget it. It's taken care of. And just like your car, you would never just get a car and drive it think you're going to get 200,000 miles out of it without ever changing the oil, without ever checking the tires and keeping the pressure up. You've got to maintain this most expensive equipment
That's
that
a
you
great
have
analogy.
in your house.
It's true.
So
That's
true.
true.
So true. So just give Meg a call at the office there. Go on their website again. The website is?
A-1American.com.
And the phone number?
757-425-2400.
So you've got that. If you need to stop and rewind and write it down, you can do that. But please give them a call. And when you do, let them know. Let Meg know you saw her on the podcast with the Shepherd's Guide.
Please.
Oh, we would be so encouraged to hear that. But let them know you're calling from the Shepherd's Guide. That helps us know that we're giving the proper services that we promised to give. And it encourages our advertisers as well, that where they're investing their marketing funds, that it is being, some ROI in that. And it's very important because you're stewards of God's money and God's business, and it's important that you're putting it in the right place. And we appreciate the partnership so much. Any final words you want to share with customers, potential customers?
Yeah, like we said, we're celebrating with the Shepherd's Guide their 40th, but we did just release a promotion for the 250th anniversary, and it's $250 off your tankless.
Oh.
Those can be strung together and looped together, similar to the geothermals, but in a restaurant,
Yes.
in your beach house,
Yes.
and we service the 7 cities. We even go up to Toano, Poquoson,
Wow.
Carrollton, Smithfield, you name it. We're like a Visa card everywhere you want to be.
That's amazing.
But I always have to bring it back, Tim, to Jesus Christ, our
Yes.
Lord and Savior.
Yes.
I'm going to get a little choked up,
yes.
but we literally wouldn't be A-1 American without him.
Yes. Yes.
And we started in 1987 out of a blue Toyota pickup truck,
Wow.
and we're still here today for all of you in the Hampton Roads area.
And now you got a fleet of vehicles.
We do.
So the Toyota had babies.
Toyota had babies. Yeah. Now they're like bright red. They say, God bless America.
Yes.
So
I see them around all the time. And every time I do, I say, they're one of ours. And the family, Caleb can tell you, as we're riding around, I'm always claiming our Shepherd's Guide and saying, God bless them. Keep whoever the driver is safe and protected.
yes.
Because we look out for each other.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
And now that I know, Pastor Tim, that you work on Florida heat pumps, we might recruit you as well.
Okay. I can tell you some stories. One quick one down south, the water, your water, if you're drawing from a well, the quality is important. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them would do shallow wells because of the cost of drilling a well. It's plenty of water there, but it was in South Carolina, it could be very sulfur.
Yeah.
So, the coil, the water spins around and makes the heat transfer. That sulfur starts building up, and then the quality of transfer gets less and less. So we would have to go and disconnect at the coil, beginning and end, and put our little pump on it and with acid, and pump acid through it. And the pump, after a few times of running the acid, was hard to prime. So we had to suck on the hose to get it going. And I've swallowed quite a bit of acid doing that because it would catch quicker than. So that was probably some of my hardest memories of that. But when you're in a loop system, you've got minimal of that because you can actually put in the water chemical that keeps the coil safe. But that's just one of my stories. And up in an attic in a beach house in Deberdew, probably about a 8,000 square foot beach house, 3rd floor, heat in the attic, summer, and then choking on acid. Oh my goodness, I thought I was going to die. But I still love the systems. For sure. But again, we're here with Meg at A-1 American, truly a company where God is glorified in and through the way they conduct their business.
Yes.
And so if you need someone that you can trust in plumbing, heating, air, anything that connects with any of that, commercial, residential, they can handle the big guns and the small ones as well. 7 cities plus everybody that counts on the 7 cities. They'll come to you after hours. Oh, that's so good to know. So Meg, it's so good to have had this time with you, and I look forward to us doing some stuff in the future as well. You're in marketing, we're in marketing, so maybe we can team up on some things.
Sure, for sure. I'm here.
Especially with your 40th coming up, 40th anniversary coming up. Maybe we can really celebrate this thing and maybe even have a big fireworks show.
That'd
because
be great.
A-1 American, God bless America, would be a great place with the flag flying. I could see it would be amazing. But thank you again for coming. Caleb, I know they can't see, but thank you for helping us here get everything recorded. And to you, thank you for tuning in. May God bless you. If you need more questions, give us a call here at Shepherd's Guide 757-896-1000, or go on shepherdsguide.com. Or nextgendigitalworks.com. Either one, we're there. Jason will answer the phone, and we'll get you going. God bless you, and thank you for tuning in.
Let your brothers and sisters know what you do and how to find you. Just advertise in the Shepherd's Guide.